Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Kirill, your justice analyst from Belarus living in Germany, and today we continue with the second semi-final of Eurovision 2026. All the rehearsals have concluded, the first one, the second ones. I have already updated my prediction for the first semi-final. If you still haven't seen it, definitely check it out. But today we're talking about the second semi-final. I will remind you how my predictions have looked based on the performance from national selections, pre-parties, bookmaker odds, based on your votes in the Eurovision scoreboard app, and of course based on the historical patterns of these countries in the past in the Eurovision semi-finals. So now, without further ado, let's start with the first country, Bulgaria. Dara is such a star. What an opening for the Eurovision semi-final it will be. The choreography is kind of questionable at some parts, but as the theme of the song is about being rebellious, I think these moves are totally fitting. Dara is serving us some amazing choreography alongside good vocals. I'm not really sold to the outfits yet, and I think the staging could profit from some bright colors, a little bit more of the party vibe. In any case, I still see the chances of Bulgaria to qualify as 80%. Just like before the rehearsals, Dara still has the same chance to qualify in accordance with bookmakers. It's 78%, also hasn't lost any positions in the scoreboard app, still ranked 5th, so I'm pretty sure we will see Bulgaria in the final, but just let's keep this safety buffer of 20%. Let's be honest, the bar of expectations for this entry was already quite low. I think vocally Jiva was great. The staging looked slightly dated, not really much was going on. I was very happy about the addition of more Azerbaijani language. It definitely helps this ballad to stand out more, but nevertheless, with this running order being sandwiched between Bulgaria and Romania, without any mesmerizing incredible staging, I just cannot see Azerbaijan qualifying, so I'm decreasing their qualification chances from 15% to 5%. The bookmakers, Eurovision fans, everyone is agreeing that this is most probably the last place of the semi-final. Wow, this is how you do the Eurovision performance. If we talk about the scoreboard app and the bookmakers, all of them increased the chances of Romania significantly. In the scoreboard app, it raised from place 4 to place 2, even though the gaps between places 2, 3 and 4 are quite small. If we talk about the bookmakers, the chances to qualify raised from 84% to 89%. Of course, I was already evaluating the chances of Alexandra as 100%, so I will just keep them at this level. I think this rehearsal is amazing. It has definitely shown to us that Romania this year is not just fighting to be in the final or close to top 10. This year they might even end up in top 5. Let's just see the whole performance, can't wait. I would like to point out though that I haven't expected to see the concept which Smash Into Pieces were using in Melody Festival and with their rock entry already this year will be so quickly re-implemented in Eurovision, but I think it works even better in the performance of Romania than it was in Smash Into Pieces performance. It's just interesting that this staging concept stayed true to its genre and will be used by another rock song, but on the Eurovision Song Contest stage. After getting promised an Avatar-like staging, or at least Avatar-inspired staging, I find the current staging of Luxembourg entry slightly underwhelming. I just hope we haven't seen the best part of it. Of course, the most magical part is in the end when Marija is playing violin, but what we have seen so far makes the entry look a little bit empty on this big stage. So right now the bookmakers are ranking Luxembourg not anymore with 37% qualification chance, but with 34%. Mother Nature is still ranked 12th by the Eurovision fandom, so I will decrease the qualification chances from 60% to 55%. It's still an entry which in my opinion will be both friendly towards the juries and towards the televoters. Yes, the running order is not the best, performing between Romania and Czechia, but this one truly stands out, and I think the violin solo is something what might elevate its chances significantly. Usually violins are very much helping entries to qualify. Let's see. We were told that Daniel likes his mirrors and he brought a true maze of them. I think this performance looks absolutely amazing. It's reminiscent of some entries from the past, like Scream for Sergei Lazarev or even Proud for Tamara Tedevska, but done even better. I think the vocals of Daniel are so impactful. They sound so great, such a great vocal control. The 30 seconds rehearsal video clip for me screams like Daniel will do extremely well with the juries. About the televoters, we still have to see. The running order is also still not the best, but I definitely see this being in top 5. of the jury voting of this semi-final, therefore I'm increasing his qualification chances from 55% to 85%, and I'm totally puzzled why the bookmakers have decreased the qualification chances from 76% to 70%, also dropped in Czechia from place 7 to place 9, because in my opinion this performance definitely has to be in the Eurovision final.
Paloma, Rumba, let's go!
Before seeing the rehearsal video clips, I was ranking the chances of Armenia to qualify as 70%. Now I have to decrease them to 40%, and let me explain you why. I was surprised how unenergetic the rehearsal video clip was. I think it was mostly due to poor camera work. I think also restricting the dancers and the singer in the small box of an elevator is not really helping. You probably have seen how active Simón was at the pre-parties, for example in Amsterdam, where he was jumping all over the stage and just radiating the energy. While watching the rehearsal video clip, I couldn't stop the thought that even the Luxembourg entry by Marija has more energy in it than the performance of Armenia. So it's not a surprise that the bookmaker chances to qualify for this entry dropped from 51% to just 42%. He lost only one place, so falling from place 12 to place 13. The Eurovision fandom still keeps Armenia on place 12, but he almost didn't get any additional points in this meantime between my previous video and this video, while some other countries got thousands of votes. So unfortunately it doesn't look so good for Armenia anymore, also performing after France, which is a very intense entry. You probably have seen the rehearsal video clip. Armenia is bringing as well intensity, but actually less, even though the song asks for more. In any case, vocally Simón is great. I think he has a great charisma and energy. He just deserves a better stage and with much better camera work. Before the rehearsals, Switzerland was on place 11 in the scoreboard app, being 2,000 votes away from the place 10. Now they're still 11th, but they're just a couple of 100 points away from place 10. Veronica Fusaro also got an additional place in the bookmaker odds, rising from place 13 to place 12, getting additional 2% to her qualification chances, so instead of 44%, having 46%. I think the rehearsal video clip which we have seen is absolutely amazing. You might say it's slightly messy, but this is the end of the song. This is the culmination of the whole song where the most things are happening. I think it looks very effective. So I'm left with no choice but to increase the chances of Alice to qualify from 25% to 50%. The last minute, this last 30 seconds as well of the song are so impactful, looking so great, and I'm sure the jurors will love that. But the previous first 2 minutes are unfortunately not so impactful enough. I think it's slightly monotonous at some parts. When the second verse starts, it's a moment when she sort of loses me, when I think that we need already more development. But she's such a professional, her stage presence is amazing, and her vocal just sounds one-to-one like an MP3 track. So I really hope to see her again in Eurovision with maybe even stronger song than Alice.
Jalla, Jalla, Jalla!
After rehearsals, Cyprus gained 1% extra in qualification chances in accordance with the bookmakers, so rising from 79% to 80%. If we look at the Eurovision fandom though, she lost one position, she gained only additional 500 votes in this meantime, while Romania, for example, got 4,000 votes. So we see that the support of the Eurovision fandom is slightly sinking. Maybe they were not so impressed by the rehearsal. I think the visuals in the rehearsal are great. Antigoni is very charismatic, she seems to be very comfortable on stage. I love the dance break. I wasn't really sold by the idea of using the chair on the table. I'm not really sure why it's there. But in general, this whole big table concept looks amazing. I think they have a lot of clever visuals. And I have to say, after some questionable performances at the pre-parties when it comes to the vocals or in that Sing for Greece competition, I thought the rehearsal was actually quite decent, so quite good vocally. So I'm increasing the chances of Cyprus to qualify from 45% to 65%. I still see that some of the jury members might rank this very low, which might hurt their chances, but the televoters should support that. And actually, if we think about some entries from the past, which maybe also had questionable vocals, they were sometimes getting even more points from the juries than from the televoters, like for example Israel in 2017 Eurovision final. So Latvia decided not to change much in their performance. It was already very effective in the Latvian Supernova, so they just kept the same, just added a little bit more sparkling stones on the dress of Atvara, and it kinda left the bookmakers disappointed. So it seems like they expected more from this performance. So that's why the chances of Latvia to qualify in accordance with the odds fell from 58% to 46%, still keeping Latvia in place 11 though. In my opinion, their staging concept is quite unique and very much fit into the song, so I can perfectly understand why they decided to stick to this successful formula from Supernova. But on the other hand, the performance of Malta, who is also in the same semi-final, at least in their national selection, featured a lot of similar elements. The sort of whirlpool, maybe not with the sparkling stones, but with the rose petals, the screen with the fake shadow. In the performance of Atvara, it's her as a little girl. In the performance of Aidan, it's him and Bella. So I have to decrease the chances of Latvia to qualify from 30% to 25%. I just think in this semi-final we have so many jury-friendly entries, we have so many powerful ballads, especially coming after Latvia, that I think that this one will not really stand out, and I just at this point of time cannot see Atvara qualifying, even if this entry is great and she can be totally proud of herself. If you remember, I have ranked chances of Denmark to qualify as only 90% because I was slightly concerned by his vocals after the pre-parties. Unfortunately, in the rehearsal video clip we see only the beginning of the song, which is definitely less challenging vocally than the rest, but that part sounds absolutely amazing. It can't sound better, so I have to increase his chances from 90% to 95%, just keeping this little puffer for those high notes, which I hope he will hit perfectly and will be one of the best ones in this semi-final. He remains the leader of the fandom voting in the semi-final in the Eurovision scoreboard app. Bookmakers are still ranking him second, but even they increased his qualification chances from 91% to 94%. So I'm really happy we will see Denmark in the final, and let's see, maybe Søren will be able to fight for victory. Unfortunately, Delta hasn't spoiled to us the most exciting parts of her performance. We see only the 30 seconds from the first chorus. She sounds amazing, it looks very effective. The visuals might be slightly generic, the sort of moon shape we already saw in Bambi Thug performance used a lot, or in the performance of Nathan Trent from Austria many years ago, but it definitely looks and sounds absolutely amazing. So it's no wonder Delta stays as #1 favorite of the semi-final in accordance with the bookmaker odds, getting additional 3%, rising her qualification chances from 91% to 94%. In the scoreboard app, she lost 1 position. Nevertheless, she lost to just to Romania, and she got very, very close to place 3, which is Cyprus. While Cyprus got just 500 votes in this period of time, Delta got a massive 2,500 votes. So maybe right before the semifinals, she will be already even in top 3 of the Eurovision fandom. I think you will not be surprised when I now say that I still see her chances to qualify as 100%. I think Australia is for sure in the final, and let's see the whole performance to know if Australia can fight for the victory in this Eurovision Song Contest. Ukraine, together with Australia and Denmark, all 3 of them were at 91% qualification chance in accordance with the bookmakers, while Denmark and Australia both climbed to 94%, Ukraine climbed just to 92%. Nevertheless, in my prediction, I'm still keeping her chances as 100%. I think the staging looks absolutely beautiful. It's an amplified, elevated version of what we have seen in Ukrainian Vidbir. I think with every performance, Lelika surprises me more and more. With her stunning vocals, she gets even more confidence. I love the curtains in the background. The only thing which I still don't really understand is her makeup and also those small things which she's wearing on her fingers. If some of you know what it should represent, what it should mean, definitely let me know down below in the comments. While some days ago bookmakers were ranking Latvia's chances to qualify as 58%, Albanian chances to qualify as 64%, both were ranked 11th and 10th respectively. Now, as I have already told you, Latvia with its 11th place has only 46% qualification chance, and bookmakers raised the chances of Albania to a massive 70%, so it's a huge gap, so bookmakers are pretty sure about the top 10 of this semi-final. Unfortunately, in the rehearsal video clip we have seen only the beginning of the song, so not really the most impactful parts. In any case, it already looks very effective very dark, very deep, totally fit into the meaning of the song. Alice sounds absolutely amazing, and I think for the song with such a deep meaning, with such an impactful text, it's very important that they have included these English subtitles in the performance. This usually works very well in Eurovision Song Contest, so I totally see Albania qualifying, and I will increase their chances from 65% to 75%. I think this entry will be appreciated more by the televoters, as Albanian entries usually do, but the vocals of Alice are definitely one of the best in this year's competition, so I'm sure that some jurors will support Albania, and it will be enough to bring Albania to the Eurovision final. After the rehearsals, just like Albania, Malta got additional 6% qualification chance in accordance with the bookmakers, increasing the chances from 74% to massive 80%, and also bringing Malta from place 8 to place 6. It still stays on place 8 in the Eurovision scoreboard app, and after seeing the staging for Eurovision, I have to increase the chances of Malta to qualify from 50% to 60%. I'm still not so sure if this is a better choice than what they had in their national selection. The ending of the song is of course the most impactful part, which we saw in this rehearsal video clip. This sounds really good and looks also really good, but I'm slightly concerned about the rest of the song because some of those parts are sounding slightly repetitive, therefore I cannot put the chances higher than 60% at this point of time. The vocals of Aidan in the beginning of the rehearsal video clip were not perfect, but I think it was just nerves. He will still have a couple of performances on that big stage before the big semi-final on Thursday. In any case, I'm sure the juries will love this song. This type of genre is always getting quite high support from them. Just think about the Swiss entry from the last Eurovision final, which was loved by jurors so much that Zoe has finished in second place, while the televoters didn't like it as much. In this case, I think Aidan has a better shot to get some support from the televoters. The running order should help, so I think we will see Malta in the Eurovision final this year.
Baby, I'm an animal, I got no self-control.
While the Eurovision fans are still not huge fans of this song, it still stays on second to last place in the fandom voting. The bookmakers are actually believing in Jonas Love more. They added 2 additional % to his qualification chance, and he is now on place 8. The performance is basically one-to-one what we have seen in the Norwegian Melody Grand Prix. I think Jonas sounds amazing. This is so much given the Queen, Måneskin vibe. I see totally huge support from the televoters and especially from the jurors for this one. So I will just keep his qualification chances as 85% as I have ranked them before, because I'm basically evaluating the chances of the same performance, which we already saw in the Norwegian Melody Grand Prix. I think it's a perfect closing entry for the semi-final, which will bring Norway to the Eurovision final. We should just not forget that Eurovision fandom has also very much underestimated the chances of Gressula in Melodifestival in 2025 and 2026, when in both occasions he finished in top 3, was very close to the victory, and was liked not only by the juries but also by the general public who was watching on that night. And with this, we have went through all the 15 performances taking part in the second semi-final on Thursday night. I still find it pity that many artists were using the beginnings of their songs instead of like the most interesting parts to show to us in this rehearsal video clip, so there will be still a lot of surprises for us when we watch the semi-finals. But in any case, based on what we have seen till now, let's take a look which 10 countries have the highest chances to get to the Eurovision Grand Final. And these are Bulgaria, Romania, Czechia, Cyprus, Denmark, Australia, Ukraine, Albania, Malta and Norway. I still believe that Luxembourg, Switzerland and Armenia might surprise us qualifying instead of Malta and Cyprus. It just depends on the whole performance. And this concludes my prediction video for the second semi-final of Eurovision 2026. My personal huge favorite of this semi-final is of course Australia. Delta Goodrem is my favorite singer in the world. The other 2 entries in my personal top 3 will be Romania and I guess Ukraine. Definitely let me know down below in the comments if you think I'm underestimating the chances of someone or maybe overestimating. I'm also very curious to hear whom you will be rooting the most for on Thursday night and for whom maybe you will even cast your votes. As always, like this video, subscribe to my channel, it would help my channel enormously, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.